I would like to begin by announcing some important developments in our war against the Chinese virus.
When you have a president saying this,
racism in the time of pandemic. A young woman wearing a mask is attacked in a subway station.
Come here, sanitize your come here.
An elderly woman is chased by a bully trying to squirt hand sanitizer on her. Harassment and assaults against Asian Americans are up sharply.
the innocent are attacked.
You need to leave.
Asian piece of
It comes from China.
Racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China.
When a racist president deflects his own mishandlings onto minorities.
In Midland, Texas in March, a hate crime attack there left a man and his 2-year-old with knife wounds across their faces. In April in New York, a man poured acid on an Asian American woman.
The guiltless suffer the consequences.
Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all.
Are you from China?
Why is that?
You haven't heard of the coronavirus?
So, what does that have to do with us?
If you're from China, I need to know.
Asian Americans are facing discrimination not felt since the Japanese-American internment camps during World War II.
And yet, the attacks continue. Thus, when former NBA star Jeremy Lin said he was called coronavirus on the court during his team's G League game, it's shocking and saddening, but at the same time, just not surprising.
Asian American hate is as old as American history.
More than 3,000 hate incidents directed at Asian Americans nationwide have been recorded since the start of the pandemic, according to advocacy group Stop AAPI Hate. VOA News, citing the California State University Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism, reported this is an increase of 150% over the previous year. This is something Lin predicted in a tweet he sent out almost 1 year ago. When a president uses racist language to target minorities, in this case, Asian people, they unduly suffer.
Kung flu, as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus.
Why is this a global competition to you?
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I mean, if you're asking me what he said, that's extremely vulgar.
In San Francisco, Richard Ratanapati, an 84-year-old Thai man who walked every day to stay healthy, was the target of an attack by a 19-year-old. The assailant ran across the street, barreled into him, and shoved him to the ground. Ratanapati died 2 days later. In the same week, an attacker shoved a 94-year-old man in Oakland's Chinatown to the ground. Another video that rocketed around the internet.
Every disease has ever came from China, homie. Everything comes from China. It's disgusting.
The increase in anti-Asian hate crime was the highest in New York City, the country's largest city with a sizable Asian population.
What are you doing in this country?
Per USA Today, a 36-year-old Asian man was stabbed and taken to the hospital in critical condition. The suspect faces assault charges that include attempted murder as a hate crime and assault as a hate crime. While Jeremy Lin is praised by Warriors head coach Steve Kerr for his refusal to name the racist and echoes the fears Asian Americans have in their daily lives because of the past president's rhetoric, the fact is we need action to protect our fellow Americans from these events further occurring. Recently, Joe Biden signed an executive order condemning racism, xenophobia, and intolerance against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. They blamed the past administration's racist tendencies. While a start, we need harsher penalties. Anti-Asian violence did not begin with Donald Trump. Still, it seems enough is not being done. From the blame and imprisonment of Asian Americans after Pearl Harbor, folks who had absolutely nothing to do with the attack, to present day, America still cannot break the stranglehold of racism that plagues this land, focused and founded on the acts of bigotry and theft. The deflection of blame, the need for a target is rooted in evil. While police can walk the streets and, for example, citizens patrol Asian homes in Los Angeles, we must ask, what possibly can be done?
All you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country and this country does not love us back.
If you'd like to hear more thought-provoking content like TYT Sports on Facebook and to help in my journey to keep media independent, go to tyt.com/Rick.